Uh-oh. You know it's serious because it's late at night and Coop doesn't have a hat on. And you know what? I think this is kind of serious. I was sitting here trying to write some notes for the Syracuse preview video, and I'm scrolling on the X app, and every other post is fire Mario Cristobal, get Mario out of here. It's Oregon fans saying, ha ha, we told you so, same old Mario. It's fans of opposing teams just laughing it up at Miami once again. And I want to sit down for just a moment and talk openly about this, about Mario Cristobal. And I will give my opinion on it as well. I'm not going to ask you without kind of telling you how I feel. And I have some points that I want to discuss that we're going to bring up. But I need to provide one quick disclaimer, and I am begging you to please listen to this before you comment. And I'm telling you, I'll be able to notice who did and who didn't. I'm not here to argue literally about Mario Cristobal being fired at the end of 2025 because that's not going to happen. Mario Cristobal could lose the rest of the games on the schedule. I mean it. He could go 6-6 and he is not going to be fired at the end of 2025. In my opinion, he's not going to be fired anytime soon. It would have to be a catastrophic failure, a crazy chain of events for that to happen. So I'm not here to really argue that. It's more so me asking you if you have lost faith in Mario Cristobal. Do you still believe in him? Did you ever believe in him? Do you think that he's the right guy to take this Miami program to the next level? Is he capable of leading them to a national championship at some point with him running the show? And the reason why I think it's so important to have this discussion right now is the fact that if so many fans, such a large portion of the fan base is calling for his head, that tells me that they no longer believe in him, that they feel like he's the wrong man for the job. And that's why we continue to talk about firing him or him being fired, because I'm seeing it all over the place from Miami fans, not trolls. I'm talking Miami fans. And I kind of just want to, check the pulse on this fan base. Right here in this community, we have a fairly large following of Canes fans here. So I want you to just be real with me, please. Be honest, and I promise you that I will go through and read every single one of these comments because I want to know how you feel about it. Now, I understand that right now, of course, the fan base is frustrated. We lost to Louisville as 14-point favorites. We're coming off of a loss against SMU as 11-point favorites. So, of course, people are going to be very heated. And I'll just go ahead right out of the gate here and say, would I want Mario Cristobal fired? Right? Talking hypothetically here. Let's just put it out there. Right now, no. Believe it or not, no. I just want him to be better. I will say, however, that it's starting to concern me a lot because I'm starting to feel like that he's not going to be able to get any better, whether it be because he's too stubborn to, he's not willing to maybe adapt or make some changes. But we know that he is willing to make changes, at the very least with the coaching staff, right? We've had multiple offensive coordinators, defensive coordinators, position coaches. He's been willing to change it up, right? Here's the problem. He is the one at the end of the day who was responsible for hiring, I'm sorry to do this to you guys, Josh Gaddis in the first place, Kevin Steele, Lance Guidry. This is the guy who is interviewing these coaches and has, believed at one point in time that they were the perfect fit for this program, that fit what he wanted to do. And he was wrong. And yes, he admitted that, and he brought in someone else, but it's still been a problem. We've seen a lot of the same from this Miami team, a team that continues to get worse as the season progresses instead of getting better. We have seen, and this is probably what frustrates me the most. In my opinion, we are seeing so many teams across the country, so many coaches do more with less. Am I right or am I wrong? Because Mario Cristobal comes in as this master recruiter, and I think that he has done well with recruiting. 2022, 16, 23, 7, 24, 4, 25, 14. Right now, Miami is sitting at number 11. Talking about the recruiting rankings. Big time guys coming in through the portal. Stacking talent. Big time blue chippers. But yet here we are losing games as a 14-point favorite and an 11-point favorite. Teams that do not have as much talent as Miami. But we're getting out schemed and they're coaching circles around us. And at the end of the day, who's this stuff going to fall back on? The man running the program, Mario Cristobal. The problem is who we are losing to and how. It's not like we're riddled with injuries right now in 2025. But yet it seems like that we are playing worse football right now. And whether it be because, teams have figured us out. They know what to do now, right? Well, we should be adapting. We should be making some changes. We should scheme it up. We should be more creative. We have the talent. We have the coaches that we want. And it just, I'll be real, it scares me. And it blows my mind that Mario can come up to the podium or he can go on a radio show and they ask him about this. And his response is something along the lines of, look around the country, games everywhere are close. Trust me, Mario, this is not what the fans want to hear. I don't care that, NC State is playing teams close. I don't care that Virginia Tech is playing teams close. In what world are we comparing ourselves to these teams? 2025 season is not over, so we don't know how this thing is going to play out on the tail end of things. But if not, if you don't think that he is truly the one, you've seen enough at this point, then what are we doing? If we no longer believe in him. It's a really tough moment. I'm in a very tough spot. And it's so frustrating to see a team that in the crucial moments, that's when Miami seems to be the most predictable. That's when the big F up happens. And the ball just never seems to bounce our way. And I'm thankful that he's been willing to make changes with the staff and stuff. I appreciate that very much. But at the end of the day, it all does fall back on him. I fully understand that there are fan bases, and maybe even some of them are going to comment on this video and say, man, Coop, if y'all go 10-2, what we would give for our team to have back-to-back 10-win seasons. And I get that, but it just takes me back to exactly what I said earlier. I'm going to say it for a second, maybe even a third time in this video. The problem is who we are losing to and how we are losing to them. I would even be more forgiving if Miami had dropped the game to Notre Dame. And then they had one ACC loss. I could fully expect that. at the beginning of the year, we thought maybe split Notre Dame and Florida because we thought they were both going to be good. And then you have the game, which is it's still messed up that we even say that. But, well, under Mario, we have the game. We just have to accept it. It's who he is and it's what happens. And now here we are. We start out hot. And we lose to two teams that were the dogs going into that game. And it's unacceptable. It is. And I don't doubt, again, that Mario Cristobal loves this team, this program, this university more than anybody. He's the hardest working man in the room. Probably the first one there and the last one to leave. Has ties to Miami. He's the chosen one. The people that really pump big money into this program have wanted him for so long, and they finally got him. But that doesn't mean that everyone has to kiss his ass and that he gets a free pass. And I'm not saying that he thinks he should be given one. He wants to win. It's his head on the line. So of course he wants to win. But that's the thing. He does have to win. And if it feels like that we're just going to continue spinning our tires, and in a year where it really looks like it's wide open, and we're talking about teams like Virginia and Georgia Tech and teams like that playing in the ACC championship game, and we're still not making it to the playoffs again, there's no excuse for that. Not if we want to talk about the type of roster that's been built and these big names on the coaching staff, and there's no excuse. But I said what I said. Would I want him? Am I to the point to where I am on social media saying, you know what, we know he ain't going to be fired, but we're going to have to fire that man. Or at the very least, we have to let our voice be heard and say, y'all should fire this man. I no longer stand with Mario. I no longer believe. I'll be honest, I'm not to that point. I'm not to the point to where I would be one of the people saying fire him, even though it wouldn't happen. But I told you I would be real and honest, and it's tough for me to look at Mario Cristobal right now and feel like he could be the man. I'm not going to say it's impossible yet, but it really irks me and really concerns me that the patterns that we see, with him continue to show up. The issues that we consistently have seems to just it rears its ugly head every season, and it still continues to be a problem. The comment section is open. It is your opportunity to say whatever you want. And yes, I do feel like it is important to have this conversation. And if you can't handle it, if you can't be a grown-up, I'm not judging you for that either. Just don't participate. It's fine. Move on. I hope you clicked off of the video when I gave the disclaimer at the beginning. And don't jump in here and talk about, well, you can't be super critical and also be a fan. Yes, you can. Don't tell me, oh, you can't be fuming over that SMU loss and then turn around and say, go Canes against Syracuse. Yes, you can. Oh, you can't be just negative and critical all the time and then expect me to believe that you still love the Canes. Yes, you can. Now, that's not me. I'll be honest. I tend to ride the fence a little bit because I try to just call it as I see it, but I try to have a somewhat positive approach because I do love Miami and I will always love Miami, and that will never change. So I want them to succeed. But we also got to be real and honest sometimes and have these conversations. And I know a lot of people are giving up. So I'm trying to check in, see how y'all are feeling. So let me know.